What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another comic book review video where I say words and you, the beautiful people, listen. It is I, your crazy Nicolas Cage, your steward of Gondor, your genius, billionaire playboy, basic YouTuber philanthropist, Supercliff. And would you kindly hit that like and subscribe button for every little bit helps in this majestic, powerful, epic YouTube world. And today, folks, we're continuing our Infinite Frontier journey with Superman issue number 30, written by Phillip Kennedy Johnson, with the art by Sammy Barcy. And away we go. As our story begins sometime in the not too distant future, where we see Superman trapped by what seems to be some sort of shadow webbing. Now, it's within this moment where we're given a narration from Superman, and it's here where Clark is reciting words that he wrote in a journal, which documents the various discoveries and adventures during the course of Clark's superhero career, and that this journal was made specifically for both his son John and Lois to read one day if they so choose. So when it comes to this journal entry specifically, Clark recalls back to one of his most memorable adventures that both he and John had shared together, prior to Superman leaving Earth, to which he mentions may have been the last time. Now, winding the clocks back to the past, we see Clark, Lois, and John having a lovely family day playing miniature golf. You know, just another bright and hopeful day in Metropolis. Sunny fashion. Suddenly, whilst John and Lois are celebrating their victory, Clark receives a message that's calling out for Superman, with his voice also telling Supes to come back, as the voice says that it's not the end. Now, clearly this message throws Clark off immediately, and it's with that where Clark tells Lois that he needs to go and do some Superman stuff. And it's with that where both John and Superman suit up and head out into space. Now check it, because it's within this moment while our two heroes are shown navigating through the deep ends of space where Clark is simply just taken back with regarding John's confidence in his flying. Because we have to remember, back during DC Rebirth, John had no idea on how to properly use his powers, to the point where he purposely refrained from even doing so. So it's nice seeing from this angle on just how far John has come since the day, he accidentally killed a cat using heat vision. But don't worry about that, because we don't talk about that anymore. But yeah, overall, this is just a nice scene which shows us, the reader, as to how much progress John has made as a superhero. Now, eventually our heroes arrive at their destination, that being the planet Thakram. And once they land, Superman tells John to go ahead and put on his interpreter chip. And once John does so, Superman mentions that there's going to be a language barrier, for some words on this planet will have a different meaning than opposed to what we typically comprehend them as. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Now, according to Clark, the individual whom they're here to meet is Korath O'Danum, the ruler of the Thakramites. He mentions that his friend is not one who typically calls for help. Unlike you, Jimmy Olsen. Calm down there. I digress. So basically, Superman tells John just to keep an extra lookout for any signs of trouble. Suddenly, an army of Thakramites show up and begin to attack both Superman and John. But in response, Superman, as a way to demonstrate a sign of immense strength, he slams his fist down against the ground, creating a giant crack. Then, in their native tongue, Superman tells the aliens that he's not here to cause trouble, for he's been summoned by the planet's ruler. Now, this is where we are then met with the introduction of Faldor Pornium, who's an elder amongst the Thakramites, a scientist whom both him and Superman go way back as old friends. And so once Faldor is introduced to Superman's son, Superman asks about Korath's situation, like, where is he? I heard the king needed help. And this is where Faldor appears confused, because here Faldor reveals to Superman that Korath is dead. Now, later that night, we're shown that the Thakramites are conducting a ceremony of sorts, performing a shamanistic performance, honoring the death of their ruler through their cultural practices. And so while all this is underway, Superman gives the rundown to John with regards to the ceremony, for the Thakramites are performing a recreation of the story that they refer to as the one who fell from the sky. And basically this tale is about a giant alien corpse that fell out of the sky. And apparently this corpse was teeming with a hive mind parasite, spreading an infection that consumed heat and light, much like a black hole. Faldor named this parasite the Shadowbreed. So as a means to counter the Shadowbreed monster's sun-draining abilities, Faldor constructed a radiation bomb, which emitted a spectrum of light which the Shadowbreed monster couldn't consume nor tolerate. Therefore, both Superman and Korath were able to fight back the monster infection. And afterwards, the two of them brought the alien corpse and dropped it deep into a canyon, where then Falder's device was activated, eradicating the Shadowbreed monster in the process. Now, within this story, it's also mentioned that prior to this incident, Korath had been in exile, and so since he helped save the planet alongside Superman, Korath was hailed as the planet's ruler, because in Falkrom, strength is valued above all else. And so, with the death of Korath, his son is now the new king. Now, what's interesting here is that the son has just lost his father, but instead of feeling sad or depressed, he seems actually rather chill about the whole situation. Like, okay, cool, my dad's dead, moving on, let's get shit done. Now, according to Superman, the relationship between a parent and their offspring, the whole dynamic of it is a lot more complicated than it is on Earth. It's very emotionalist and just, there's no sense of personality involved. It's very stone. Clearly, it's just a different custom. Now afterwards, Superman and John have a chat with the new king and Faldir with regards to why he was summoned here. However, Faldir suggests that there must have been some form of miscommunication, because apparently Korath had lost his communicator many seasons ago. So there's no possible way that Korath could have contacted him. Plus he's dead, so, there's that. So it's with that where both Superman and Superboy head off. Instead, they don't. Because rather than returning back to Earth, Superman decides to investigate and to see what's really going on here. And so here we see Superman leading John to where he and Korath had left the alien corpse down beneath the canyon all those years ago. And so by using their heat vision as a substitute for flashlights, John and Superman head down into the cavern. Now eventually the two come across the alien's corpse, which is comforting. However, Superman notices the communicator that he had given to Korath. But that's not all they find, for Superman manages to locate the old tech Faldir had designed to make his radiation bomb. But this piece of tech looks different, as it appears more like it's a battery or a projector or a cage. Thereby, immediately both Superman and Superboy fly out to get some answers. Now here is where we pick up with Faldir, who's shown to be meeting up with some of his fellow villagers following the ceremony. And what seems to be a simple meetup of sorts eventually turns into something much, much worse. Because it's here where we realize that Faldir has been taken over by the Shadowbreed, and so by acting through Faldir, the Shadowbreed has been slowly taking over the planet's population one by one. And as this villager screams whilst being taken over, Superman, who's currently flying en route, realizes just how badly he messed up. Because if you remember back to this issue's beginning, back when Superman had initially received the distress call from Korath, Korath told Superman that it's not the end. And remember when Superman informed John that certain words and phrases have a different meaning on Fakram? Well, that comes into play here because Superman realizes that when Korath said it's not the end, in Gorath's dialect, he actually said it's not dead. The Shadowbreed monster is not dead. Moving on to this issue's backup story, we have Tales of Metropolis, written by Sean Lewis and drawn by Scott Godlewski. And this story focuses on the character known as Ambush Bug. And so following the events that transpired in the previous Tales of Metropolis, with Bibbo having confronted the two new super criminal aliens known as Projectless and Deadstream, we check in with the rest of Metropolis' superheroes, whom are present within a meeting that's hosted by Jimmy Olsen. And basically, Jimmy is giving everyone the rundown as to what's happening within Metropolis. Because with Superman being, Superman, dude's extremely busy. Therefore, Supes can't be bothered to deal with the small, petty crime stuff, whilst the universe is just constantly shitting itself. It's a mess. So, yeah. Therefore, it's up to our lower C-list heroes to deal with these threats happening within their city. Now, while our heroes are listening to Jimmy talking about Projectless and Deadstream, Ambush Bug takes a nice sip of his coffee. However, Ambush Bug is completely unaware that Deadstream managed to slip himself within the coffee. Therefore, after drinking his coffee, Deadstream is now inside of Ambush Bug. And as Deadstream tries to take over the hero's mind from within, we are reminded of Ambush Bug's teleportation powers. So basically, as a way to drain Deadstream from his body, Ambush Bug transports the two of them to Hydroscopic Realm, basically Tatooine. Therefore, water is very scarce. And so after Ambush Bug punches the villain a couple of times in the face, and wanting to get information to Projectless' location, Deadstream eventually tells our hero of the place, but also tells Ambush Bug that it's a place where the detective is worshipped non-stop. Now, because our hero has an ego, he is immediately consumed by all the love and support that his fellow kind are currently giving him. However, this is all a mere illusion that's being projected by the villain Projectless. Because across the street, we see the villain herself, holding a clue that she plans to leave behind for Ambush Bug to pick up, for this is all part of her master plan to divide and conquer Metropolis. Suddenly, Ambush Bug is assaulted by Projectilus's illusions, and it's here where Ambush Bug remembers Jimmy's warning that the villain can make one see their fantasies and their fears. Therefore, using his bug-like skills, Ambush Bug manages to escape, though not before picking up the clue that Projectilus purposely left behind. Ambush Bug then teleports himself back into the Daily Planet where Jimmy and the superheroes are having their meeting, and after feigning upon his arrival, Steel notices a carved-in message on the back of Ambush Bug's back, which says time to call in the Kryptonian. However, Ambush Bug tells everyone not to worry as he was able to obtain a clue. It's here where Ambush Bug, though beaten and bruised, is back with a sense of purpose. Therefore, the Bug is back, folks. Back to save the world from the forces of evil. Superman issue number 30 continued Phillip Kennedy Johnson's take on a Man of Steel and his son teaming up to fight the galaxy's injustices. What I really dug about this issue is just how PKJ is able to show off the fact that Superman is pretty experienced when it comes to traveling interdimensional distances, the amount of friendships he's made during the years, his vast knowledge of various galaxies, along with his practices for alien customs. Basically, Superman is ultimately the most experienced superhero in comics, and that's made quite clear, especially when viewing it from John Kent's perspective. Like, the guy knows when trouble is brewing, especially when something appears lovely at first glance, but in truth, it's really not. Now, I will say that I wasn't quite as emotionally pulled into this issue as opposed to the Golden Age story, but overall, I am still intrigued with this new story. So, cheers to that. However, the best part to this entire issue was the backup story from Sean Lewis, Tales of Metropolis, where the spotlight is on Ambush Bug. And this story was hilarious. It's really nice seeing how these Superman-esque related characters, who sadly cannot hold a book on their own, are getting their moments to shine within these backups, which is really cool. And also, Ambush Bug is hilarious. So yeah, DC, give us more Ambush Bug. Overall, I'm finding myself to be enjoying this new run in Superman, and I'm excited to see what else this creative team has in store. Superman issue number 30 gets an 8 out of 10. Giggity goo.